If the PlayStation 4 is any indication of the quality of the next generation of gaming, then it was worth the wait after all. I am writing this review 7 years to the day after Sony brought the PlayStation 3 to the United States, a console I swore I would never buy after Sony revealed the ridiculous price tag at E3. 7 years later, the Japanese electronics giant has value in mind and the PlayStation 4 is a bargain at $399.99. The box itself is a thing of beauty. Video game consoles are traditionally more utilitarian than they are attractive, but the angular design of the PS4 might actually earn it a visible spot in your entertainment center this time around, and it's a far cry from the bulky monstrosity that was the PS3. The PS4 features HDMI, optical and Ethernet ports on the rear, as well as 2 USB 3.0 slots in front. Sony has done away with the power switch. The only two buttons on the console, power and eject, sit above and below the disk drive, but you would know it from looking at them. In keeping with the sleek motif, Sony has nearly disguised the only functional buttons on the PS4. But for this minor complaint, the PS4 is easily the best looking console Sony has ever released. Considering the design leap from the PS3 to the PS4, it only makes sense that the follow-up to the DualShock 3 controller would see a similar overhaul. The DualShock 4 is such a huge improvement over its predecessor, you might never want to play another game on your PS3. I could gush over each and every component. The slightly more depressed, but satisfyingly click-Y face buttons, the analog sticks that are smaller and spread just a little further apart than on the DualShock 3, and the raised lips of the L2 and R2 triggers. But I too spare going into too many details on these features and stick with the new stuff. The start and select buttons are gone, and in their place sits a touchscreen, bookended by the brand new share and options buttons. Using the touchscreen to swap quickly between abilities in Killzoo, Shadowfall was surprisingly intuitive, and I can only hope that developers take note of this subtle implementation in the future. The options button serves as a replacement for start and is used for pausing the game and bringing up a menu. The purpose of the share button is self-evident. It lets you capture a screenshot or a video and share it on Twitter or Facebook. It's also your go-to button if you want to start streaming your gameplay on Twitch or a stream, which I too discuss in a little bit. Borrowing from the Wii and Wii U, the DualShock 4 features a speaker, which outputs extra audio from games, like audio logs in Killzoo or announcements in Resogu. Best of all is a standard headphone jack on the bottom of the controller, which not only alleviates the pain of having to stretch a headset all the way from the console to the couch, but also allows you to route all game audio from the jack. Everyone's going to bed, but you can't stop playing. Plug in some earbuds and let your friends and / or family rest in peace. As for the rest of the box, Sony was decidedly economical. The necessary power, HDMI and USB cables are all included, along with some, very, light literature and a promotional voucher containing 30-day free trials to PlayStation Plus and Music Unlimited, plus $10 worth of PlayStation Store credit, which you should probably hold on to until the ID games start landing over the next few months. Fortunately, the update flies by, an early sign of just how lightning fast the system is. In fact, the speed of the user interface might be the defining feature of the PlayStation 4 at launch. Here's how fast the PlayStation 4 is. I was in the middle of a round of Resogu, and I had just cleared a wave of enemies. As the next round was spawning, I pressed the PS button on the controller to reach the home screen, jumped in the PlayStation Store, started a 4. 2 GB download of Warframe, double-tapped the PS button again, and I was back in the game. All in less than a minute. Before you can start actually messing with the console, however, the PlayStation 4 subjects you to a system update, which was a frustratingly regular occurrence on the PlayStation 3.